found right there. And basically, it's iron, it's metal, but it's an iron pin set in lead. And we were able to test that in laboratories over in Israel, and they confirmed that it was an iron pin set in lead, which is exactly what the ancient Romans used to do. That's the way the Colosseum in Rome was built, and all of that. So what Ron believes is that when Jesus' body was put in the tomb and they rolled the stone in front of it, that this was a pin to keep the stone from being rolled backwards. And then when the angel rolled the stone back, that it just sheared that pin right off.
It was broken.
And it broke it. It just broke it right off. And that's what's left of it. But just in 2002, we were able to confirm, based on laboratory reports, that this is an iron pin set in lead, just like an ancient Roman pin.
And it's so old. It's old.
It is old. It's very old.
2000.
It would be back, at the first century, the time of Jesus Christ.
Okay. From the top photo, it was the entrance of the cave.
The bluish type photo. That's towards the entrance, and the very top. That is the skull face, Golgotha. That's where the Bible tells us that Jesus was crucified, and it's just a little bit to the right of. So basically, the excavations. This is Golgotha right there.
Okay.
And for the garden tomb that we found in 2005. That's the old sign that used to mark the way to the garden tomb. That's brass right there. It was thrown into Ron's excavations, and so we were able to find that.
Garden tomb.
This one right here shows the ark. This is the same model right there in the water.
Ah, ok. Este es el mismo modelo que vemos, lo pusieron a flotar en el agua para comprobar que las dimensiones y lo que explica en la palabra de Dios pues flota. Aquí vemos la maqueta hecha por un compañero de Ron bajo su supervisión. Es la misma que vemos en la foto flotando.
picture right here was in Life magazine, and it had the caption above it said Noah's Ark with a question mark. And Ron Wyatt saw this and decided to go to Turkey, where this is located, and to check it out. This is what he saw the first time he went over, but he couldn't tell much about it, so he came back to the United States. Now, while he was back in the United States, an earthquake happened, so he said, maybe it damaged the boat, so he wanted to go back over there. Well, when he got there the second time, he couldn't believe his eyes, because what had happened was the earthquake had actually dropped the dirt and soil and debris away from the boat and left it sitting there ready for excavations. So it had actually helped. So at that point, Ron did laser measurement, and it measures out about 515 feet long, or exactly 300 Royal Egyptian cubits. Again, this is another photo of it, and you can just see how the boat is sitting there with the soil dropped away. And then he did some metal detector scans all over the surface of the boat, and everywhere there was a heavy metal reading, he put a cross-section of ribbons. And basically, it laid out in the same general structure that you would build a gigantic boat. He did subsurface interface radar scans. I've been trained in 3D subsurface radar, which is a more advanced technology. What he had back then was the best in the time. But basically, you can take a box, an antenna, and drag it over the surface of the ground, and you can tell what's underneath the surface for 30 feet or more based on the scans that it gives. With the new technology that I'm trained in, you can set up a grid in X and Y coordinates, run those scans, put it into a computer, and you get a three-dimensional cube. So we would love to go back and do that on this site. We've been working on permission, but we would love to go back and do that, to have everything laid out in 3 dimensions, 3D and a cube. So that maybe in the future we can do that.
You are working for that. You are working to go there and do the 3D dimension.
We are. It's the political situation in Turkey is very bad. They just don't give you the permits, the permission to do that very easily. They make you work for it. And so hopefully we'll get the permission, but it's hard. It's been hard.
Okay.
Ron Wyatt found about 13 giant anchor stones, and the anchor stones had, most of them had 8 predominant Byzantine-style crosses carved into them. And we know there were 8 survivors of the flood, Noah and his family, and we think that the Crusaders may have put these crosses on to represent the 8 survivors of the flood. These are the rivets that connected the timbers together that made the boat. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the pieces of petrified wood that was taken from the boat and analyzed, and it's petrified wood. It has organic carbon, and we have some actual pieces that you've seen just a little bit earlier of the boat here. And then one side of the site was cleaned, and you can see the light material coming down at even intervals, and you can measure in between it. It's that's what's left of Noah's Ark. And then Ron Wyatt showed the site to the Turkish government, and they declared it a national park, and they put it on their maps as Nuhan Gemisi, Noah's great ship. And they built a visitor center at the site. And so that's what's left of what they believe to be the remains of Noah's Ark.
Thank you very much, David.
No problem.
Nos ha explicado que que encontraron madera petrificada, que como la que hemos visto antes en la muestra que nos han dejado observar. Y vemos también pues la parte en las excavaciones, la parte donde se ve el esqueleto de la quilla del barco. Y bueno, por lo demás ya es lo que hemos visto hasta ahora.